it up. It's The Record Machine with your host, Jimmy Howell.
So much violence, hardliners don't know moderation. They don't care about children dying. Just send the troops in, mobilization. It's the trouble in this whole world today. The trouble in this whole world today. Put those guns away. Put those guns away. The trouble in this whole world today. Put those guns away. Before you get blown away, you could say it could be done without a gun. But it's easier to run from some brain dead fool if they don't have a gun. Escape blood and violence. Kid gets a gun, thinks this is fun. Another gone, a mother crying. It's the trouble in this whole world today. The trouble in this whole world today. It's the trouble in this whole world today. The trouble in this whole world today. Put those guns away. Put those guns away. The trouble in this whole world today. Put those guns away. Put those guns away. Put those guns away. Put those guns away. Before you get blown away.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the band Audioscam singer, drummer Brian Pitcher to the program. How you doing, Brian?
Good. And listen, thanks for getting up so early just to talk to me, man.
No problem. Where are you calling from?
I'm in Cairns, Australia.
Oh,
I'm standing in my front yard trying to get the best reception that I can. Where we are up here, we're up on what's called the tableland. We're just outside of Cairns, and the reception can be hit and miss. Usually it's okay, but every now and then, thunderstorms somewhere in the area shuts me down. Yeah, I was going to say, you're in Carolina, are you?
Yeah, I'm in South Carolina, North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Oh, I like the sound of the beach part there. Cairns is right on the water. It's on the Great Barrier Reef, so yeah, we're water people too.
Cool. Now, have you lived there your whole life?
No, oh, hell no. I was born in a place called Barbados in the West Indies.
Oh, okay.
And when I was fairly young, my dad got a job with the airlines, and he moved to Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And we were up and down from Toronto to Barbados quite a bit. And then we moved to Australia, to Sydney, and then from Sydney to Melbourne, and then I came back up here because Cairns is very much like Barbados, tropical.
Very cool. Did you partake in a lot of music programs when you were growing up?
Not really. Look, my parents never dissuaded me from music or anything, but they thought it was, like a party trick or something like that.
Yeah.
Not something that you do as a career.
Uh-huh.
But, I've been in music really since I was probably about 17 or 18. And, then, like, I'm a drummer sort of thing. I play drums and sing and a bit of guitar. Like, I had one drum when I was young.
Wow.
And I made my own drumsticks when I was in Canada in woodworking shop in school there, sort of thing. But yeah, so I've been in music since I was about 17 or 18, and it's interesting. I've actually made a living, a career out of it.
Well, that's pretty cool. Tell me about your musical background, your journey, and who's in your band, and what what are their roles and.
Wow, how long have you got? Man, the journey's been a long one, I can tell you now, but very interesting. I started in music just out of high school here in Australia, really, because when I was in Canada, I was too young to really do anything there. But when we came to Australia, my parents met a guy who played drums, and he volunteered to teach me. And, so I took lessons from him for quite a while. I was very lucky, actually, because I'm kind of ambidextrous. I play drums left-handed, but I play guitar right-handed, and, everything's back to front. And when I was first learning drums, he had me on a right-handed kit, and I was really struggling. And then he said, hang on, and he said, let's try this. And he turned everything around, and it was like somebody just flicked the switch. Mm-hmm. And so I was very lucky because Ringo wasn't so lucky. Ringo is actually a left-handed drummer too, but he was forced to play right-handed when he was learning.
Wow!
So there's a little trivia for you. Cool. Yeah, and I played in high school band sort of thing, and that was in Sydney. Mm-hmm. And I just kept going when other guys were getting jobs in banks and real estate agents and stuff. I kept getting jobs in bands. I lived in Sydney for a long time. I moved up to Cairns because it reminded me of Barbados. I came up here on holidays once. The band I'm with at the moment, Audioscam, my musical partner, Brad Wallace, he plays bass and guitar and keyboards and does a bit of backing vocals. Mm-hmm. He and I have been together probably for on and off for 15 years or so. And then our guitar player's a bloke named Jason Byrne, and he's only been with us for about 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. But we're really happy with him, and the three of us have sort of consolidated at the moment. Originally Brad and I were using different guitar players around Cairns. We were hiring different guys for different sorts of songs and everything, but Jason sort of just slots into everything. So, yeah, the three of us are pretty good, pretty happy with it.
That's cool.
And, of course, Brad and I both own our own studios. Mm-hmm. We realized that really the only way for a band in Cairns, because we're not the actual rock and roll capital of Australia, so we figured the only way we were going to do it was to be independent and do our own recordings. Mm-hmm. And, we gradually built up our own studios in our homes, and that's what we do. We record everything. Brad's taking some courses. He's now doing the mastering as well. So, yeah, we're a pretty well self-contained unit.
That's very cool.
Well, we're happy with it. The current single that we have out, that Guns Away, that was written by a friend of mine, a guy named Tony Harvey, who I played with in bands in Sydney for quite a few years. And I was a little nervous. I mean, we recorded that a couple of years ago, and when COVID hit, we sort of put the brakes on a lot of things. But anyway, we were nervous about releasing that at the moment because I didn't want people to think I was trying to take advantage of what's going on over in Ukraine at the moment. But that song was really written about the Columbine shootings and Sandy Hook, and in Australia we had some guy going nuts down in Port Arthur in Tasmania. And I should tell you straight up, I'm not anti-gun or anything like that. I've got a couple of guns of my own, but they're licensed and they're held in safes, and I'm just sort of a little. I don't see that anybody really needs to have a fully automatic military-grade assault rifle.
Right.
I think I kind of draw the line there. They're not actually called protection rifles. They're assault rifles.
Right.
So when somebody says we got to protect ourselves, well, you don't need one of them to do that. So and when we were actually doing the video for that, James, it was really really eye-opening because I went through this online thing and we were looking at snippets of videos to use because I was trying to get across the message that the song gives away rather than, put our faces smiling up there. And I couldn't believe the number of images that come up with young kids playing with guns. And I mean, there might be just little plastic guns, but from a really early age where we have this whole gun thing in our faces.
Right.
And it was a real eye-opener actually seeing that. And I thought, wow, okay. And like I say, I'm not against guns. If you're trained properly and you know how to use them safely and everything, brilliant. Yeah.
I listened to the single Guns Away, and you just given me a little bit of the background, what the story is. I'm going to feature that song in this podcast along with Ragdoll Voodoo Blues. What's the story behind Ragdoll?
Okay. Well, look at that. It's just like a song in Barbados. They, in the West Indies there in the Caribbean, voodoo is a bit of a thing that the older people used to go on with, and I don't know where this song actually really came from. A friend of mine said to me something about, you never write anything about me, and so I said, oh, well, I might write a song that maybe have something to do with you, but you might not like it. And it's just a song. It's, not a big deal or anything. I just thought sometimes your life does feel like you're not in control of it. And that's pretty much what voodoo is when you're not in control of your life. And I thought, okay, well, I don't think that anybody's really got a rag doll with pins in it, that looks like me. But sometimes, when you're not feeling in control, maybe you think, oh, what the hell's going on? So that's really where that came from. Not a big deal.
Very cool.
It's a song, but
Tell me about Australian Sun Records.
Australian Sun. Okay, they're the guys that. This is a funny story. One of the owners of Australian Sun is a bloke named Mark Manock, and when I lived in Melbourne, Mark and I used to see each other a lot, at gigs and things. He played piano. And he had some demos that he wanted to do. And I had a little studio down there as well. I've always been into, recording. And I helped Mark a lot and, did demos for him and his bands and things like that. And strangely enough, Mark moved to Cairns a little bit before I did. And he teamed up with a guy up here named Nigel Pegram, and the two of them started Australian Sun Records. And anyhow, I got up here and I was playing around, and one night at a gig, well, more than one night, we used to get it all the time. Girls would yell out, play some ABBA, play some ABBA. And so I said to the guys one night, okay, we're going to learn an ABBA song, but we're going to do it a little bent, a little twisted.
Right.
So we did Dancing Queen, but we, did it with a 7-string guitar, a little bit heavier sort of thing. Just kept the melody the same, but yeah. And, was absolutely stunned at the reception it got at the next gig, People were yelling and screaming, and I thought, geez, I wish I'd written that. But anyhow, we thought, okay, so we learned a couple more, and I just had the idea, I wonder what it'd be like if we did a bunch of ABBA songs, but recorded them as if maybe Deep Purple had done them.
That's
So
funny.
that's what we did. And I went to Mark and I said, "Hey, listen to this demo," and he really liked it. He said, "Okay, let's do it." And I thought, well, there you go. Years before, I'd been helping him with his demos, and then he and Nigel paid for the recording of ABBA. So yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think Australian Sun are still around as a recording company, but Mark and Nigel still do recordings. Yeah.
Is that the same label you were label mates with Irene Cara and Dave Hudson?
Yes, that's them. I got to admit, I didn't meet any of them. I met David once. I never met Irene Cara or anything.
Oh, okay.
But, David was involved in the Australian Sun thing as well. And David was a very good didgeridoo player. He's an Aboriginal guy, and he did a lot of recordings with didgeridoo. And one of the songs we released recently that Brad and I did, one of Brad's songs called Hand of Sin. It's a fairly evil-sounding song, and in the middle breakdown section, I said, geez, where's David when we need him? It just sounds like it needs a didgeridoo in here. But yeah, no, it was just interesting that they were involved in the same label as us. It was a good thing for us because, I mean, like I say, Cairns isn't exactly the rock and roll capital of Australia, and that CD coming from here opened a lot of doors for us in America and Europe, Japan and the Philippines. So we were actually very lucky to do that. And mind you, it was really funny dealing with Benny and Bjorn's publishing company and all that sort of thing. You know, they actually at one stage they sent me an email and asked me for some copies of the album. And I thought, oh God, here we go. So I said to the guys, okay, this is either going to be lawyers, guns, and money, or they're going to like it. I don't know which way it's going to go, but I mean, we had permission to do it. So, and we said to them, look, we're not making fun of your songs. We're treating them respectfully. We're just doing them in a completely different vein to what you guys did.
Right.
And that was the whole point of that. I mean, both Brad and Jason and I, we like well-written songs. And I mean, okay, we don't, wear satin pants or sequins or anything like that. But ABBA did write some really good songs. And it's amazing how well they held up or do hold up in different veins, in different styles.
Yeah.
So that whole heavy rock thing was very surprising, actually.
Yeah. Did you ever hear of a group called Alien Ant Farm?
Yes.
They did a cover of Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal. Now, can you imagine if they did a whole album of Michael Jackson songs like you did with the ABBA? That would be pretty cool, right?
That would be awesome. It's funny you mentioned that. One of the versions of the band that Brad and I played in, we did that Alien Ant Farm song.
Oh, you did Smooth Criminal?
Yes, it was an awesome song. Really well done.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying we did it really well, but we loved the song. That's why we did it.
Yeah, I always thought that was a cool version. I was surprised that they didn't do a couple, more from his catalog, because I thought they did a pretty good job. I mean, I remember one time I seen, I think it was Soundgarden or Chris Cornell. He did a cover of Billie Jean, but it was like totally stripped down. It was like very slow and dark, But the Alien Ant Farm, Smooth Criminal, that was genius.
It was. Look, I mean, let's give him credit where credit's due. Michael Jackson knew how to write a good song.
Right.
He may not have been everybody's cup of tea musically, and certainly some of his private life wasn't what you would call normal. But he did write some pretty damn good music. There's no doubt about that. I've got no problems with covers, none at all. I mean, the biggest problem for me with covers is the legal side of things. Like being an independent band, we have to make sure that everything we do is, legally correct, because we get slammed really easy for that. We did a live album. We recorded a live album, and on it we did some of the ABBA songs as well as some of the original songs that we wrote. And we had so much trouble getting licensing approval to release those songs. Even though there were ABBA songs that we'd done before, we still had to go back and get license approval to do them, and it just turned into a legal nightmare. So in the end, I just went, nah, shelve it. I did not want to wake up one morning with a $900 an hour lawyer knocking on my front door saying, "Thank you, Brian, we're going to take you home now."
Yeah, I could see that, right?
Yeah, there's just so much lawyers involved in music now. It makes it difficult.
How many albums does AudioScam have to date?
We've got 4 out, and we're Guns Away is off our 5th one, which we're just about to release.
Okay.
And of course, as soon as that comes out, I'll send you a copy, or I'll get Joe to send you a copy.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, since you're bringing it up that the album's coming out, tell me a little bit about the album.
Okay. Well, the album is called Red Dirt Sky.
Okay.
And when people think about Cairns, they often think we're in the tropics, tropical rainforest jungles and stuff. But just to the west of us, it gets very dry. And the photo on the cover of the album will explain it really well. The land is all red dust and dirt and sand, and it's amazing. It's a really dark, reddy brown. And the sky, it doesn't rain much out there, and the sky above it is just this huge, big blue sky that just comes down to meet the red dirt. And it's, you got to experience it or see it to really get the hang of it. And I love it. I do a lot of traveling. I love getting out. I've got a Land Cruiser, and go camping, and I love just getting out into the bush, like where there's no bitumen roads. Mm-hmm. Dirt roads suit me fine. I like it. And so Red Dirt Sky is really another look at this Cairns area sort of thing. So it's where we live. And the songs on the CD, we did Ragdoll, Fast Eddie and JoJo, which was written by myself and Jason, the guitar player. It's really funny. He came along to rehearsal and he says, "Listen, I got this music," he said, "but I can't think of any words." So he played us the song. And I just said to him, "That sounds like a car race to me." And he said, "Can you think of some words?" So I said, yeah, I'll come up with something. And he and his brother actually built a Ford Falcon from the ground up, and that thing was a monster. I'm sure it broke all legal speed limits in the country in first gear. When I saw that car, I thought, right, that'll be Fat Bertha. That's the car in the song. So yeah, but yeah. So that was just, that was the first one we did. Then we did Ragdoll, a song called Even When You Lose, which is about, I don't know, people who have too much money and still think they're doing it tough.
Right.
Whining about how tough their life is.
Uh-huh.
And then we've got a remix of one called Baby Done Bad, which is a song I actually wrote about my wife.
Nice.
And that was on our last CD, Kicking and Screaming, but we remixed it, and we were happy with the new mix and the new mastering job. So Brad wanted to stick that on here because he really liked that song. Mm-hmm. And there's what else is on there? Just Won't Do, which is another song that I wrote. It's like you do your best sometimes, and sometimes people just keep telling you, well, that's just not good enough. It just won't do. Right. And that's what that song's about, really. You can only do your best, You can't do more than that.
Right.
And then Brad had one called Problems, mm-hmm. which once again was about people with lots of money who don't realize how lucky their life is. There's the guys in. I love the band Good Charlotte, but what was that song they had out? Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Right. I thought that was I like that song. And Problems is a similar sort of thing. You really don't have problems when you don't have to worry where your next meal's coming from. Mm-hmm.
Money does make it a lot easier, right?
It does. What do they say? Money makes misery a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's 7 songs on the new CD. Mm-hmm. They're all originals, of course. Like I mentioned before, the legal things, we can't afford the lawyers, so We do all our own writing now.
Very cool.
And that's what we like. I mean, we do at live shows. We do play covers, stuff that we like. Like one of my favorite artists in the world is Joe Walsh. I just love that guy.
Yeah, he's great.
He's crazy as a hatter. He really is. But I like him. We cover a few of his songs, and
Are you doing any live shows anytime soon?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We do the odd one or two, and we've been in all sorts of lockdowns here with this COVID thing, and they've just announced that they're going to open up hotels and things like that to people, because like half of the people in the country didn't want to get vaccinated, and half did. And so they were making it tough on those without the vaccinations, and they wouldn't allow them into pubs. And then, of course, the pubs said, well, if we can't have the customers in, there's no point us opening. But yeah, it's all starting to clear up now. The gigs are looking like they're coming back. So yeah, it's the light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, that's good. Well, what can the fans expect when they go see your band play live?
Energy. We're not a quiet band, but we're not, super loud either, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we rock, and we like melody. We're big on melodies. Our original stuff, we like to, we do a lot of vocals and stuff like that, harmonies, melodies, and we just have a good time, really.
You interact a lot with the fans?
I was just going to say, we try and get the people involved in what we're doing. And like if they don't know our original songs or whatever, we do something that they do know and get them singing along or whatever. I mean, the point of being on stage is to entertain people. So, if we just stood there and turned our backs to the crowd and played for ourselves, that's not really going to work, is it? So we get the audience involved, and I really enjoy that. When you hear the people singing along with you, sort of thing, you go, okay, well, I know they're having a good time. I'm doing my job, and I like that.
What is it about music that makes you feel passionate?
Oh boy, being a drummer, when I hit the bass drum and the room shakes, I love that. And just there's when I think of playing drums, my job is to make people want to dance. And when I play and I see people tapping their feet or getting up and dancing, I just love that. Some of my favorite drummers are just groove drummers. They're not guys who are doing solos all night long or anything like that. And I just really love the groove of the music, of the song, sort of thing. So I really enjoy that. And recording is nice. Like when you write something and record it, and it progresses along, and all of a sudden, bang, you've got a nice song finished, and you go, wow, we did that.
That's awesome. Who are some of your influences?
How much time have you got, James? When people ask me what kind of music I like, generally I say it has to be two things. It has to be in time, and it has to be in tune. There you go. That's about it. But I mean, I love the Beatles, Rolling Stones, the Police. There's a lot of American bands that I really like too. I mean, I like the Eagles, of course. Everybody loves the Eagles. Don Henley. I mean, that guy's got a voice that is just unbelievable, and he's not a bad drummer either.
Yeah.
Look, my influences in music. I mean, everything. There's a band, one of your bands. I'm not even sure if they're still around. They were called the Meters, and their drummer was a guy named Zigaboo Modalest. Man, that guy had a groove so deep, it was unbelievable, just awesome. So it's really my taste in music. I love everything. I'm not really big on jazz. I like Jaco Pastorius and Weather Report, but they had a great drummer, Peter Erskine, there, and he knew how to. I mean, that was jazz with a groove. A lot of jazz doesn't have that sort of groove. It's a little bit freeform, and that loses me a bit. But yeah, so influences are pretty big. you could go. I mean, I could go on and on.
Who's your favorite drummer?
My favorite drummer is Ringo, of course.
Nice. Very cool.
Okay, I was thinking about that today. I thought I really like Ringo. His son, believe it or not, Zach Starkey, he's an awesome drummer.
Uh-huh.
And John Bonham, love John Bonham.
Yeah, he was great.
Oh, what a guy. I saw them live when they came to Australia.
Did you like Neil Peart?
Neil, yeah, I like Neil Peart, but I can't do anything that Neil Peart does. Jesus.
Well, he's legendary.
We have he was absolutely monstrous, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's an Aussie guy named Virgil Donati who lives in the States now.
Mm-hmm.
And he is, I mean, I don't know, you may never have heard of him, but he is just a monstrous drummer. When I was working in the music store here in Cairns for a little while, and we used to bring some drummers up from Sydney and Melbourne and around the place to do clinics. We brought Virgil up one year, and, you know, he was nice to talk to, great guy, and very intense. And he did his clinic, and, you know, I'm standing there thinking, geez, how do you do that? And it's just amazing. And at the end of it all,
mm-hmm.
one of my students that I'd taken along, you know, Virgil's answering questions, says, Mr. Donati, do I have to play like that to get a gig in a band? And Virgil says to him, son, if you play like that, you probably won't get a gig in a band. That was very nice, because, I mean, he is a soloist. So he's not he plays a lot of funk rock bands and things. But yeah, I'm more into the guys like John Bonham and Charlie Watts and that sort of thing, groove players.
Cool. What are your plans in the coming months?
Well, we want to get this CD out. We've been sitting on it for nearly 2 years now. We released the singles thinking we'd just try and keep our name circulating.
Mm-hmm.
But we really want to come over to the States. Fast Eddie and Ragdoll got a massive amount of airplay in France and Spain. And we've got quite a bit on the east coast of America, Scotland even, we got airplay. So we really wanted to come and tour, but that's going to be difficult for a while, I think. So I guess we'll just keep recording and releasing and see what happens. Keep touring around Australia.
What are your interests outside music?
Ooh, I love fishing.
Nice.
I've got a boat. I like to get out on the reef, do a bit of diving and fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I love traveling. I love going out camping and, you know, just wild places. Living up here in North Queensland, it's like we have one of the things that people love to come and see is our crocodiles. We have these massive saltwater crocodiles. And quite often I go to places and I'll be standing on a riverbank and there'll be a crocodile, you know, 12 feet away, 5 meters long. And I'm thinking, Jesus, Brian, just remember, this isn't the zoo. This is the wild. If you get too close, that thing will eat you.
Yeah.
I just love getting out in the wild, that sort of thing. It's really good.
That's very cool.
And it's totally different to, you know, music sort of thing. It's a different kind of a release. So that's good. I enjoy it.
Now, you mentioned the new CD is going to be coming out. How can one go about purchasing that?
Right. Well, when we release stuff, everything goes on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, CD Baby. You know, all of the digital download sites. Actual hard copies are. We always do hard copies because, you know, some people just like them, and we keep them. And anybody wants one, we just mail them one.
Cool.
Like I said, and of course, we'll be sending one to you.
Thank you.
It's funny. A couple of years ago, did a gig and there's a young guy there, and he said, "Oh, have you got any recordings?" And I handed him a CD, and he looked at it and he's going, "What do I do with this?" I thought, okay, yeah, times have changed.
Yes.
It's a good thing I didn't have a plastic album or EP to give him, isn't it?
Yeah, he'd probably like, how old are you, dude?
Yeah, exactly. He would really have freaked out. Although I got to tell you, I've got a huge record collection, you know, the old 33 EPs.
Uh-huh.
And I listen to them, and I don't know, I can hear a difference, a quality in the tone that's in the sound that's just not there on a digital recording.
You're right.
And some, you know, there's some people that say, no, you're imagining it. But I don't know. If I am, I am. But I can hear a difference in the quality, and I prefer the old analog recordings. But, yep. Those days are gone, and they're not coming back, I don't think.
You still can press your new album on vinyl if you wanted to.
Yeah, you can. The hard part is when you record it, you still have to record it on a computer-based recording program sort of thing. And I think that makes a difference. You can get it pressed onto vinyl then, but yeah, I think it's the whole recording process. With analog like tape, you could push the signal onto the tape to the point where the tape just started to break up, and you could get, I don't know, don't want to say distortion because you don't want distorted vocals, but you could saturate the tape. With digital recording, it's either clean or it's distorted. There's a point where it just goes bang, that's it. There's no sort of slowly creeping into the distortion sort of thing. So I think that's probably the main difference between the two of them, to me anyhow.
Yeah. The date of the release, when can we actually go out and purchase the new album?
Well, I'm hoping it'll be within 3 or 4 weeks, because it's all done. It's all finished. It's just a matter of getting the work down and having the CDs pressed and the covers made and that sort of thing. So, 3 or 4 weeks probably, and it'll be there. And, of course, we don't release the digital things to Amazon or iTunes until the actual hard copies are done as well. So nobody really misses out that way.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a website you'd like to promote?
I do. Audioscam.com. All I got to do is actually get on there and do a little bit of work on it.
Oh, you got to do some updates?
Funny, Yeah, you could say that.
Okay.
You want a job, James? Yeah, we got to get on there and update it a bit. But I mean, we do a lot of promotion online. Joe Villione does all our work for us over in the States. He's been brilliant. He's been with us for over 10 years now, so we get a lot of promotion from that. We do a little bit on Facebook as well, and the website, of course. And now that you've guilted me into it, I'm going to have to go and do some work on the website, aren't
I? Well, it is a good way to promote stuff, right? Other than Facebook and Instagram, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you don't have a TikTok account. I know I don't.
No. We used to do Twitter, but during your Donald Trump election, we just got deleted. 5,000 followers, and we just got wiped.
Wow.
And they said, you can apply to us to get your thing back. And of course, a little rock band in Australia, they didn't pay any attention to us, and so we just lost everybody on Twitter overnight, and that was a real bummer. Wow.
Is there anything you'd like to mention that we didn't talk about today?
I like live music. I like real music. I like to know that people who played the music. Mm-hmm. When we do our recordings, I will not use pitch fix. I refuse to use pitch fix. If I can't sing the note, I'll change the note. I'll go back and do one that I can reach. And we don't use timing edits or anything. If the drums speed up, I'll do them again. If they slow down, I'll do them again. Because I have my own studio here, quite often I'll do 25, 26 takes of the drums until I find one that I feel happy about. But I can just listen to the drums on their own and go, yep, that's the one. And then we go with that. But I don't like people that say, hey, I'm singing on this, when some computer is actually singing for him and correcting all his bum notes, Mm-hmm. What was the guy, Ben Folds had a song. I don't know if you remember Ben Folds, Ben Folds 5. Yep. But he had a song, and part of the lyrics on it were, some producer with computers fixes all my shitty tracks. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's what goes on. So we're lucky because we are our own producers, and we can do our recordings the way we want to, not the way some label tells us to. So yeah, that's all. I'd like to say thanks to you for having us on your show.
Well, you're
Great.
welcome.
Nice to talk to you. Nice to talk to you, and I hope to get over to the States sometime, and maybe we can catch up. I'd like to come to Carolina, actually.
Well,
What's the song "Carolina in the Morning" by by somebody, James Taylor, something like that?
yeah, if you're ever in the area, let me know. I'd definitely like to meet you and shake your hand.
Likewise, that'd be great. So yeah, hopefully one day.
Well, I want to wish you the best of luck with the new CD, and hopefully you start picking up some more shows and people get to see you out there on the road soon.
Thank you very much for that. I hope so too.
All right, Brian.
And yeah, okay, James. Well, look, have a great day.
You too,
and,
buddy.
Thanks again for talking to us.
All right, man. You're welcome. Anytime. Come back on, and in the future when you got other stuff to promote. All right.
We'll do for sure.
All right.
Cheers, James.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mostly kinda cool. Every now and then I mess it up, behaving like a fool. Now in my mind I got this niggling little doubt. I might have bummed her out. I might have bummed her out. That little rag doll she's holding sure looks a lot like me. It's stuck full of pins. I wonder what that means. Is it coincidence? My head feels inside out. I might have bummed her out. I might have bummed her out. I got the ragdoll voodoo blues. Ragdoll voodoo blues. My legs ache, my arms hang loose. I try to walk, I waddle like a goose. Oh no, 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 no. I don't know why she got so wild. I was just talking to some friends. Sure, one of them was wearing a skirt and had legs